All right, let's proceed. Now we're going to duplicate this and create a large screen here, which is going to be the preloading stage that will show when the user click on login. Then after that, there will be an overlay of success and all that. Okay, so here just add a rectangle inside the frame. Yes. Okay, and make sure it's inside the frame. So select the rectangle and change the fill to black. Okay, and reduce the opacity to 80%. Let's take it down to 70%. So this is going to be the preloading stage. When user click login, it will show that it's going to log in or sign into the dashboard. So we're going to copy the preloader here, Alt key, and you drag and come and place it in the last screen here, and you position it to the center of the frame and leave it like that. All right, congratulations, we are done with the sign in screens. So this is going to be the preloader. Up next is going to be the sign up screen, right? So quickly let's duplicate this, Alt key, then you drag down, and let's go back to the prototype and remove all the prototype that is there, so that you will be. All right, so that's it. Okay, I mean, zooming a bit. There's one more here, so select that one too and remove it. All right, so in the sign up screen, we're going to change some of these data that we're going to capture and make use of the rest that we'll use. So let's select this frame and ungroup it first. Remember to come back to design panel here and we'll ungroup this. Then this text, we're going to change it back to sign up for free. So this is going to be the header text. Now select this logo and also ungroup it and select the tagline, delete it, select the logo itself, then come down and select the scale tool. Then we scale it down and take it towards the edge here. You can select the icon and the logo and just align them to the center like this. So which means their position on the Y direction should be around 54. That is for that of the logo. All right, so make sure it's snapped towards the end of the grid. So let's take this text and keep it there and put it inside the center of the frame like that. Okay, so we're going to take this and bring it here and keep it there. So this text will edit it. So this good time is going to be have an account already. Then here should be sign in. So this sign in part is, let's make it a bit bold. All right, so we're done with that. Now let's edit this to personal information. So this is going to be the personal information and we'll take it somewhere around there. Okay, select this and delete it. Select this, delete it. Select this, also delete it. All right, so now let's select this frame and make sure it's centered. Okay, all right, so now let's go back to our assets. Then you go to the local library, then you select the forms we created, that is the component. So we start with the personal information and add instance. Then we're going to come and add this first name and make sure it's inside the frame like this. So we'll have the first name. Alt key, you drag down and change that. Before that, let's change the opacity of this text to 80. Alright, so that is perfect. And Alt key, we drag down and we change the variant to last name. Alt key, we drag down, change the variant to middle name. Alt key, we drag down, we change the variant to date of birth. Then here, let's bring this one down. I'll take a text tool and write select gender. Okay, and keep it somewhere around there. Then I'll go to our library again and add the radio button. Then we'll bring it here. Alright, then we take our scale tool and take it down to that size. Okay, I'll close it and add stroke to it and make the stroke to 4. And the stroke color, we change it to our global color. Alright, so let's duplicate this text. Alt key drag and bring it here. Type mail, select the radio button and the text and align them properly and give their spacing to 6. Alright, so select the radio button and make another duplicate. Select the text also, another duplicate, and update it to female. Alright, so also select the radio button and the female text, align them and their spacing to 6 as well. Now you can select them together. Ctrl G, Command G to group them here. Ctrl G to also group them. Alright, we're done with that. So let's go back to our files and make sure we are naming all these fields so that it will look. So this group is female, radio, button, and this group is male, radio, button. Alright, that's very important. So we'll align it properly when we are done with all the fonts. So you can bring this toward the end of the grid. So now select these two and align them. Then you distribute their horizontal spacing and give it to 40. Okay, I'll select the two of them and bring them somewhere around there. So you have to select this one too, distribute the horizontal spacing and make it 40 for the 3 of them. Alright, that's perfect. Now let's select the previous form field and make another duplicate. Alt key, then you drag. Now you come here and change the variant to email this time. So let's bring down this login down. We're going to make use of it. Select again, Alt key, you drag and change the variant to phone number. Alt key, drag and change the variant here to address. Alright, you can see we don't have space anymore on our frame, right? So select the main frame and increase the height. Okay, so you just increase the height to 1025. Okay, that's fine. So let's bring the login button down. We're going to change the text. Well, not now. So let's select the field again, another duplicate, and change this to emergency contact. Okay, I think we still need to increase the frame. Let's make it to 1050. All right, so select it again, another duplicate, and this time is going to be the next variant, that is relationship with emergency contact. All right, so now let's select all these forms together and go and update the font opacity to 80, just like the other one, so that it will be uniform. All right, so now we're going to select them together. Before that, let's group this and this. So align them properly and group them together. Control G, so that will be in select state. So this is going to be the gender. All right, so now we continue. So this is going to be here, here, here. Hold down your shift key, then you make selection. All right, all of them together. Okay, then you align them properly. Then we'll come back and distribute their vertical spacing. All right, so you can see what we have there. So you make it 30, and I spec. Okay, so one more thing again we're going to do is let's go back and see they are inside the middle of the frame, so they are not there. So you can select more than one tool and make sure they are inside the middle of the frame. So you can use this to do that. So if you are not getting it, you can do it individually to make sure they are in the middle of the frame. So here, one after the other, then you align it to the center, align it to the center, to the center, this to the center, this to the center, this to the center, and this to the center, this to the center. Okay, now our button will come down a bit, so let's select here and here, and also make it 30. Okay, and also align it to the center of the frame. Then we change the login to next. Now we're going to update something here. We need to show the number of screens left for the user to sign up. So it's very important. Let the user see their progress. Once you are creating a form, you need to communicate with the user. Let the user know how many screens are left to be filled. So it's quite important. Okay, so let's take a text tool and type 1. Then make sure this text is selected. Shift plus A to add auto layout. And select the frame itself and come here and add a stroke. You change the stroke fill to our global color, which is this. And let's give it a border radius of 50. So we'll have something like that. Okay, so now we're going to take this and bring it somewhere around there. So let me zoom in so that we see it clearly. Now let's take our scale tool and still move it down a bit. All right, so that is perfect. So we're going to update the stroke again. Let's go to the stroke and make it 2 pixels. So it's older a bit, right? All right, so now let's take our line tool and hold down the shift key, then you draw a straight line here. Now select the number, Alt key to make a duplicate, and update the number to 2. Alright, select the line, Alt key to make another duplicate, and also update the number, Alt key to make another key of the duplicate of the number, and also update it to 3. Alright, so now we're on the active stage. The active stage should have different stroke color, right? So here we're going to change the stroke color to our logo color. That is going to be the active green. Alright, I'll look for another color that is very sharp. If we use this now, or something brighter. Okay, that's fine. So this is green. So this green will specify the one that is filled, right? So now let's select the other ones to make a difference here. Then we'll just reduce the stroke to 1 pixel. Alright, that is perfect now. So now select all the line and the numbers together and go and distribute them like so that it will be in the middle. So you can now Control G, Command G to group them and name this as form progress. Alright, so we are done with that. And again, here we need to modify something there. Let's bring down this text a bit and also bring down the logo a bit. They are up. So let's select the 3 of them together. Hold down your shift key to make your selection, and use the alignment tree to make sure they are properly aligned. So you can see the X, Y position where it is as well. So you maintain that number. So this is 65. Okay, let's go back to our previous screen and see what the position of this arrow icon is. Maintain that 60. So let's put them back to 60. Okay, so 60. Alright, that's perfect. But here, because of the size of the text and all that, is not making this to align properly. It's going up instead. So we might temper with it and just bring it down a bit so that it will align with the text, the logo. That should be around 69. That is perfect. No harm. Okay. So similarly here, this text too, it's a kind of down with the logo. Let's see the logo and let's also align it properly. So that's perfect now. Okay, then we're going to adjust this spacing between the text and that of it. So let's select the text and add a account yet. Then they will increase the spacing to 20. Okay, so now this spacing tree is too close. We're going to adjust that, modify that, but now we're going to zoom out a bit and also increase the height more so that we'll have space to make this adjustment, right? So let's select the form and the progress icon, align them properly, and now hold down your shift key and select all of them together. Okay, all of them together, and Control G to group them and name it as, we name this group as form. This is it, form. Okay, so I'm sure they are grouped now. So now this way we can move them at once down a bit. Let's zoom out and see what we are doing. So this way we select the form group, align them to the middle of the frame, and select the header and make sure it's 30 and spacing. So we are perfectly done with the first personal information sign up screen. Okay, right. So let's duplicate that Alt key, then we drag for the second screen to the right. So this time we're going for the user information and all that, the rest. Okay, so going to click here and update this text to medical information this time. Medical information. So here we'll change the progress icon here. So this true should come back to true, and the stroke color too should change to our global color. That's gonna be the screen. All right. So change this time. We're gonna change the form fields and all that. Okay. So we're going to do that. So let's see where we have the group icons, and we delete it. So click here to ungroup them first. Then we take off all the form fields we don't want. So we delete this, we delete this, delete this, delete this. So continue deleting until remove everything we don't want. Alright, delete this, delete this. Can also delete that. Okay, so now let's go back to our assets and go to our medical information. So I have my component here, so I'm going to add that and bring it to the frame. So here we're going to remove some things. It's not necessary, it's only the first screen that require that. So here let's delete this and also delete this part. Okay, so I'm going to take this medical information and this progress bar, and we take it up a bit and take it up a bit. Then we take this one too up a bit. So now let's select this form, go to our properties and make a duplicate first. Alt key drag, then go to variant properties and select the allergies. Another one, go there, select variant 3, is going to be existing medical condition. Another one going to be the current medication. Another one is going to be doctor's name. Another one is going to be doctor's contact, primary doctor's contact. Then we're going to add more and maybe genotype and all that, right? So let's bring this down, this down, this down, this down, this down, right? And after blood type, there is a blood group, we will need genotype. So let's duplicate that and update the place order to genotype. Okay, so that is for the medical information. All right, so in the medical information we are done with it. Then we also have another button that will say next. All right, so before that, let's change the appearance of the placeholders to 80%. 80, select the placeholder and take it down to 80. Send this last to and this one to 80. All right, so we are done. So what we're going to do next is to just align them and distribute their vertical spacing respectively, right? So shift key to select all. Okay, and align them to the center of the frame, and also distribute the vertical spacing and make it 30. Okay, so now we'll come back here and just delete this one. Okay, then we take the next button up. I'll also leave it to 30 spacing. Okay, let's click here, then it should be 30 as well. Alright, so now let's select the mainframe and close it a bit. Alright, so quickly let me explain something. The reason why we are increasing the height of the frame, if you notice we have a lot on 4 fields, so leaving the default height, the 4 fields will not be contained. So now when we want to preview this, we can create another frame and put this frame inside. This way is going to be scrollable. We'll just apply the scrolling effect to vertical. This will enable the user to scroll up and down to see other form fields that are hidden. Alright, so that's it. Alright, we're done with the medical information. Alt key, let's make another duplicate, and this time is going to be the user information. Okay, so come here and change this to user info. Alright, so in the user information, we're going to change the medical text to user information. So user information, and here we're also going to update the stroke of the progress bar to that. It's going to be 2, and the fill to our global color as well. Okay, then similarly we'll delete all the form fields because we don't need it, except the next, which is going to change to sign up. Alright, so here we'll go back to our assets again and go to user information. User information, we have it there. I'll go to account info, and this should be the add here instance. Then we'll put it inside the frame. Okay, so here we enable the user to choose their username. Okay, then we come here, make another duplicate and change to password. Another duplicate, then confirm password and change the variant to confirm password. Double tap there and also update the opacity to 80%, and this one to 80%. Only the password text, and this the username text as well to 80%. Okay, so next we're gonna have the checkbox that will enable then confirm the terms and condition, right? So we take it here and give it a stroke of 5. Now we take our scale tool and also scale it down to that. Okay, then let's change give it a stroke of 4. Okay, and change the stroke color to a global color. I remove the fill. Okay, the stroke is too much. Let's take it down to 2 and increase the corner radius to 3. See that? Alright, that is perfect. So here we'll write out accept terms and conditions. Okay, so we'll keep it there. select the two and align them properly, and the spacing, give the horizontal spacing to that. And here we select the text and go and update it to our font on our body text. So that should be that. Select it and align it copy again. Now Alt key to make another duplicate, which is going to be the receive updates from helix. So it will also keep it there. So now we have two check boxes for them to check. So now you can select the two, distribute the vertical spacing now to 10 and group them together. Ctrl G. Similarly this, select it and distribute the vertical horizontal spacing to 10 as well, and make sure they are properly aligned, and also group them together. Alright, so now let's deal with our form. Select this, select this, select this, select this, select this, line them to the left. Okay, and now distribute their vertical spacing and make it 30. That's perfect. So this one too, let's take it today. Select the form and the header, form and the header, sorry, and also align it to the left so that it will be in the same alignment. Okay, now the user information and this, and also align them properly. That's perfect now. So I'm going to zoom out, then take this button up a bit, and this time is going to be sign up. Okay, excuse me. So now we change that text from medium, from our colors, from our typography. So that is going to be H5. Or better still, let's just create another one. That's going to be 16. We don't have 6. Okay, we have. So 16. We take it to bold. So we're going to change that, or that will make that effect. We'll select the text and make sure it's inside the middle of the frame. Alright, so here no need to have a long frame, so you can just take it down a bit. I think it's okay like that. Alright, so now we are done with all the forms. That is the personal information. Let's come here and change to personal info. Alright, so it's complete now. So now we've created all the screen that is required for the user to sign up. What is going to be next is the validation screen. So for us to do the validation screen, let's just select these two screens and move them to the right. Then we'll make a duplicate of this like this. So this is going to be validation screen. When user did not select any and they want to click next, they should have this validation screen that will ask them to fill in username. Okay, so let's just change the stroke colors of this to error screen. Okay, so let's go to a stroke and change it to that. Okay, now we just show please fill in detail, right? So here you should have that error message. I will tell them please. So I'm going to do for only first name, please enter your first name. Okay, so in this text should also be red. All right, so we're going to do that. Select the text and also change the field to red. That will show an alert, so you can do for other ones. Then we see what it is, right? Taste and move it to the right. Now let's select that Alt key and make another duplicate. Then after the error message, we should have another screen that have information field already. Okay, so let's go back to our design panel. Here I'm going to fill in with random name. When the user click next, they should be able to go to the next sign up screen, which is going to be this one, so that we enable them to have other information like your block type and all that. So here I'm just going to fill in the details randomly so that you can use, and we'll have next. We are done with this. Now after they click on sign up, the next that should follow is going to be the preloading stage, right? So let's rename it as preloader, and also take our rectangle tool shape and then draw a rectangle in the frame. All right, make sure the rectangle is inside the frame. Now we're going to update the color of the rectangle, so I'll color. All right, better still, let's change it back to black and just reduce the opacity to 50%. Okay, then we'll go and copy our preloader. That should be this. Hotkey drag and come and keep it inside this frame and align it to the center of the frame. All right, so we're done with that. And after this preloader, they should be prompt back to the login screen. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to connect the prototype for all the sign up and sign in screen. Okay, so now let's start from here. First, I'm going to select all of them together. Hold down your shift key to do that, so that you can have space between them. Okay, and this. So let's distribute the horizontal spacing and make it 100. This way there will be enough gaps in between. Alright, so now let's connect the prototype. Go to the first screen and go to your prototype. Now we're going to add interaction for next button. So when user click on next, they should go to this screen. Okay, now when they tap anywhere here, they should be prompt to this other screen that shows that the information are filled. Then once they click here next, should go to this screen. Right here, once they click next, should go to this screen. Then if you want, you can also do another validation screen that will enable them to accept terms and condition before that. Okay, so quickly let's add that and select this class frame and drag it to the end. Then we'll make duplicates of this. Okay, add one more duplicate of it again. Okay, so here we'll just change the validation of the checkbox that will show them to accept terms and condition. Okay, so only this part. So select the checkbox and change the stroke color to red. Okay, and also change the font color to red, so that it should be like error message. Okay, so here once they now click accept, then this part should show. Okay, so what you are going to do, the moment user tap here, they should now be prompted to the next screen. Okay, So here, should just click here. Alright, for pages 2, let's remove that and just connect this one to this screen. Alright, so here we do the same thing next to this. Alright, so now let's move it a bit. Now once they now click on sign up, they should move to this screen, and after certain duration of time, that is seconds, they should now go back to the login screen, which is going to be this screen here. Alright, so we have not done yet. We now go back and also connect the sign in section. So if user come here and want to sign in instead, they should go back to this screen. Okay, similarly, if user tap here, should go back to that screen. Similarly, if user tap here, it should go back to that screen. Okay, if you want, you can separate this text and this text so that only the sign-in part can be connected to that other frame. It's fine. Okay, so the same thing we are going to do. If user tap on sign up, they should be brought to this. Here, sign up, it should be brought to this. Here, sign up, should directed to this place as well. Anyway, you see sign up, just connect it to the sign up page. Here, to the sign up page. So I think all connected. So same thing here to the sign up page. Then let's go back and connect all the back keys. That is the back arrows, right? So here, when user tap here, they should be able to go back to the previous screen. Similarly, from this arrow to the previous screen, from this arrow to the previous screen, from this arrow to the previous screen. And make sure you leave the trigger to on top and leave it to navigate to. Okay, so then the last one to the previous screen. So that's it. Now after this, they should be prompted to the login screen. Now when we are going to do the next one, that is after this, you now go to the dashboard. So we are done with all the sign up and sign in screens. So we will test it one after the other to see how it's gonna work. Okay, so let's start from here and connect it. So now in sign up here, should come down to sign up as well. So you connect it here. All right, so now let's test it and see. Let's start from the home screen now to see the final result of the prototype of the onboarding process. So let's come here and say preview. Now we have this. If you tap on the logo here, you can see it loads and you have this. And continue to click next, 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 and you are here. So if I click on sign up, you see we have this. And if I scroll and I select next, you see. So there's something here we're going to fix. This status icon here is not supposed to be moving, so we're going to fix it. So you can see here, if I now tap here, it will show as if I fill in my information. If I click next, we are on the next page. If I click next, we're here. If I click sign up, there's error message. I can now change and say sign up. So you see here it will show like this. Then it will now bring us back to the home screen. So here we did not specify how many delay before you switch back to the home screen. So we'll also go back there and fix it. So let's fix those areas. Now go back here and come here under the sign up screen. So this home indicator status, click it and go back to design. Then on the prototype, sorry, switch to fixed. Same thing here, fixed. Same thing here, from school with parent, fixed. Same thing here, change it to fixed. Same thing here, change it to fixed. Also this, you change it to fixed. Then I think that's all. Now let's go back and fix that prototype for after delay, which is this one here. So we said it's going to be on top, navigate there, so you leave it to after delay. Then we change it to 3000. That is going to be 3 seconds. Okay, so we are done with it. Now let's go back and preview the result again. So let's start from here this time. Then we preview. So if I click on sign up now, I'm here. So you can see the status icon is now stable. And if I click next, I have this. And if I tap here, I have this information field. I can also select between the two. So here, if I click next, I have this. Next. If I click next, it will ask me to accept terms and conditions. I've done that. Then next, and it will take us back to login screen here. So where you can now log in and proceed today. And if I also click on sign up here, you can see it brought us back to display. If I click here, it will bring me back to this place. So that shows that all the prototype are well connected. So this is all about the onboarding process. And the next lecture, we're going to design the next chapter of this project. See you in the next lecture.